Good morning and welcome inside the power plant where we have our men's basketball team who is headed to the NJCAA Men's Basketball National Tournament in Hutchinson, Kansas for the first time since the 2015 season. The Grizzlies won the Region 6 tournament Saturday night at Friends University over in Wichita, the first Region 6 tournament for the men's basketball program here at Butler since the 2010 season. Grizzlies finished the year 25-8 and got the number 10 seed in the national tournament. They will play Monday at 4:30 in Hutchinson against Roane College out of Tennessee. Coach, we'll start it off. Opening statements from you on this program advancing to the national tournament for the first time in a number of years.
Yeah, really exciting time for us, for this program, for Butler. We're really proud to be representing Butler and representing the Jayhawk Conference out in the national tournament. It's been a good year. It's been a long year. There's been a lot of ups and downs. This team has been through its share of adversity, starting with, right when we started conference play, starting 0-2, and being able to get out of that hole and be competitive and get a home game, and then be able to beat two really good teams in consecutive days in Dodge City and Barton County to win a championship, and be able to keep playing on in the national tournament is it's a lot of fun. I'm happy for these guys, these players, to get the opportunity to play on what I think is probably the second biggest stage in all of college basketball, right behind the big dance that the big boys are starting tonight. But after that, I think this is the best college basketball tournament that exists. So I'm happy that these guys get an opportunity to play in it. There's so much tradition in this tournament. Hutch does a great job of putting it on. There's been so many good players that have played in this tournament over time, and so I'm hoping these guys go over there and can put their stamp on it, and we make a run in the tournament.
Coach, I forgot to introduce, but sitting beside you is sophomore Isaac Ondekane from the Congo, Isaiah Williams from Oklahoma City, and Javon Grant from Pittsburgh, Kansas. So we'll open it to questions now.
Coach, you mentioned an up-and-down season. It certainly was. Early on, I go back to December 10th, the game up at Concordia against Cloud at their gym there, and you guys had your lowest scoring output of the season. You scored 44 points, and you lost that game 59-44. Cloud, a very good defensive team, but on the post-game show with me, I wrote this down because it was pretty memorable to me. You said, definitely concerned about our offense. We got to figure ways out to manufacture some points, and maybe we'll do that over the break. What started working for you guys?
Well, yeah, we got off to a good start in the year. I mean, we start off 6-0 in our non-conference, and we're ranked number 12 in the nation. And these guys will tell you that I was not very happy with the way we were playing, even though we were a top 15 team and heading into conference. We weren't playing good enough basketball to win the conference or win a region championship. The saving grace for our team throughout the first semester was that we played hard. And we defend and we rebound. But our offense was not good enough to be able to beat the good teams on the road. And when we came back from break, that started to change pretty much from the first game where we scored over 80 points, which I don't think had been done since the non-con. But really what we just focused on was ball movement and getting it moving and our shot selection and valuing each possession, and just tried to emphasize that any and every way we could, whether it was film or drilling it and making them pass it 10 times before we could shoot it. We got it kind of worked out throughout the month of January, the beginning of February, and then we go on the road and play 3 ranked teams. We play at Dodge City and at Barton and at Garden, and come up 1 possession short in 2 of those games, and got thumped by Barton out there without Isaac. And I think that was probably a bit of an eye-opener, maybe just the human nature of our group kind of realized, okay, hey, we're 1 possession short against some good teams on the road. I think we had better start to value the ball, or we're not going to be able to win a championship and get to the national tournament. And once we got past that Garden City game, I thought we had unbelievable focus every day in practice, all the way from that first Monday all the way till the region championship.
You mentioned that the blowout loss at Barton a few weeks ago. It seems to me that kind of the late season, everything changed with that triple overtime game here at the power plant against Cali. You guys have won 5 of your last 6 since then and went all the way through the Region 6 tournament. But that triple overtime game was incredible, and it seems to me that was a turning point for the team late in the season.
Yeah, it was. I can't really put my thumb on one specific turning point for this team, but it was a good moment, and I think that what this team has showed, we've said all year long we can beat anybody in the region, and we also proved that anybody could beat us. But the one thing that this team proved is in the toughest moments and the biggest moments against the best teams, or when you're down 18 on the road at Cowley, or you're down 18 on the road at Coffeyville, when our back was against the wall, I mean, this team really showed that they could come together and be as good as anybody out there.
One thing, you get these tournaments, and you've seen with the Region 6, it kind of slows down, scoring's at a premium. You guys are really good defensively, especially for a JUCO team. A lot of JUCO teams don't want to defend. For any of you guys, why have you all just bought into this defensive mentality instead of just getting these running gun, high-scoring, 120-point games we've seen this year?
Yeah. Go ahead, Isaac.
Honestly, I think it's just buying into what coach has told us, that defense wins games, and that's what we've seen a lot. All the games that we've won based off our defense. The offensive side will always take care of itself. Work on that side, moving the ball in and out, and our defense really has been our key to winning games, and that's just what we were focused on the whole year.
And Isaiah, you're a 3-year starter here, player, and you guys had some upset losses in the Region 6. How good was it to feel to get that final win over Barton on Saturday, and knowing that you're going to still play in the March?
It felt really good. It was an exciting win. I couldn't believe it. And, that win, it did something to me. And going on to Hutch is going to be a big part.
What did it do to you?
It made me feel like it's a big accomplishment being here 3 years. We couldn't get over a bump, so getting over that bump and doing it and accomplishing it, winning it all,
What's been the biggest difference from those teams who maybe have been missing a Javon or something like that to get to this point? What do you think has been maybe that helped you get over that hump?
Us sticking together, really. Us being together, the grind and dedication we've been through the whole year. Put it all together.
Isaiah, this is your 3rd year at Butler, and you have the advantage of the COVID redshirt year, but your first 2 years, freshman, sophomore years, you've dealt with some really bad injuries, which really limited your playing time. And I know there was some doubt in our minds at the end of last year that you might not come back for a 3rd season. Just wondering your thought process about coming back for a 3rd season, and I would imagine you're pretty happy you did.
Yes, it was a good decision that I came back. Coach made me feel, safe that it was okay to come back and it was the right thing to do. So I took the opportunity and went with it, and this is how far it came.
Javon, along the lines of defense, to me, the strength of this team this year has been team cohesive defense. You really look to me like you enjoy playing defense. Most point guards like to score. You do that, but you really do put out on defense. Where does that come from?
Just heart. Then just trying to win the game. I feel like if you're trying to win the game, you're gonna get stopped. So it just comes with playing defense. That's all I would really say. Then it's for Butler, for us, it's we play defense almost every day in practice. Everything we do is defense. So that's how we should start our games off. That's how we try to get our offense going, is by defense. So.
I've been really lucky with this team because they've, not every team really embraces that, having a defense and rebounding mentality, and that's the way I'm wired. That's the way Coach Townsend's wired. The coaches I've worked for are wired that way, and they've bought into it, and that's leadership. That's veteran guys who know how important it is. Anytime we, like Javon said, we start each day with some defensive breakdown things that aren't competitive, but it's just about establishing habits. And the best players try and dominate those drills. They're not fun, they're hard at times, but this guy's out there leading every single drill. Zay's been doing the same breakdown drills for 3 years. Isaac's out there guarding. We've got an older group that's really embraced, what it takes to be a good defensive team. And then beyond that, we've got good individual defenders. size and physicality inside, great length, guards multiple positions. This guy's impossible to screen. Trey Payne, Caleb Golden. I mean, we've got really good defenders on top of guys that are really committed to doing that. And we knew that going into the year, that we had a chance to be really good defensively. That's why we've really felt like once we get our offense over the hump, we could be really, really tough team to beat. And that took some time, but I think we've figured some things out.
Coach, you talked about being wired defensively. Where did that originate? First question, and then two, obviously it paid off. 11 blocks in that championship game obviously won you the tournament.
Yeah, no question. I mean, where does it originate for me personally? I go back to Bob Chipman, who I played for 4 years. I mean, he was the guy who really kind of showed me the intensity that you have to compete with, and he really valued defense and rebounding. And then of course Coach Herkelman, the all-time winningest coach in our region. He values defense and rebounding, and I spent 12 years with those two guys. So then just this team, that they buy into it and they're good at it, and it definitely was a difference in both of those games. Especially when you consider that they've got such dynamic scorers on each team with Jason Edwards and DJ Jones and then Cougar Downing and the big kid inside Lacandro. Those guys are hard players to guard, even if you are a good defensive team. And the commitment to it, and then the focus on each possession, not letting any possessions get away from you, and try and eliminate as many mistakes as you can. That's just a credit to these guys' commitment, and like Isaiah said, sticking together and covering up each other's mistakes on that end of the floor.
Coach, back to the championship game. Free throws weren't our strongest in the semifinal matchup against Dodge, but I don't think you guys missed a free throw in the final 2 minutes of the championship game on Saturday, and obviously
right.
That was huge. How big an emphasis do you put on free throws in practice throughout the year?
Yeah, we shoot free throws every day. There's no question that's important, and I think more so than emphasizing, just a free throw, we emphasize, hey, these games are going to come down to 1 or 2 possessions, and then almost every day before a game, whenever we're shooting free throws, I echo something like, hey, knock them down. These are going to be important, and every day when we finish practice, we make 3 in a row. If we can't get to it, we're down and back until we get 3 in a row, and try and put some guys in some pressure situations there, and so it's obviously when you get to this time of year, those make all the difference in the world. Fortunately for us, these guys stepped up and went 8 for 8 in the last 2 minutes of the region championship game.
What have you told the guys about playing in Hutch in the national tournament? Obviously, you guys have experience in that building.
Yep.
But it's different.
Yeah, it's definitely different. We obviously had a little watch party on Sunday night and saw our matchup, but didn't discuss a whole lot about our routine or even the tournament yet. And we gave them the day off yesterday. So today will be the first time we really start to address, the significance of being able to play in this tournament and how special it is, because it is different. It's the best of the best, and like I said, there's so much tradition out there, and it's such a well-ran, well-organized tournament. The guys will get a lot of exposure, and then the best thing about it is we're one of 24 that has a chance at a national championship. And if that's not special to you as a player, then there's something wrong with you. So.
Coach, after finding out on Sunday that we did get that 10 seed, how are you players as well feeling about where you are at in the tournament with that 10 seed?
Yeah, we've one of the first things I said after the region championship was I think we'll get a pretty good seed because our conference is so strong and gets so much respect, as it should. I thought we would get a high seed, and saw some projections throughout the morning going into the show that we would be about that slot. So we feel good about it. First of all, you're just excited just to be there and be representing Butler, but and then it becomes about who you play. And once you get there, you're playing somebody good, and once you get to the Sweet 16, it's only the best teams in the country left. So it doesn't much matter if you're playing 2, 3, 4, 8. They're the best of the best. So we're excited about being number 10, hopefully we can take care of business on Monday and keep it moving. So
Coach,
how do you guys feel about being 10th? Feel good about it?
Yeah, it's a good feeling. I think we deserve it. We worked hard to get to this point. Took a lot of ups and downs and a lot of emotional, stress. So I feel like it's something that, like, no matter what, we're just happy to be in it and just excited to go out and compete. But just took a day off. Now today we're just gonna come back and get back to work. So.
And Coach, and I know you don't like to look forward, but if you guys do win, you get to see Cam again. I mean, that's gotta feel really neat to potentially coach against him a little bit.
Yeah, we're all proud of Cam. He and I had a great relationship. We had a great run for 3 years, and at the end of last season, he and I had multiple conversations about his future and what was next for him. And I was really happy that he got an opportunity to learn from some new people and expand his network and keep growing as a coach. Obviously Northwest Florida is a phenomenal program with great tradition and are no stranger to the national tournament. I think the thing that I like about being in the national tournament is we played in the Jayhawk, and so we've seen it all. I mean, every style of play, great talent. We've seen it all, and whatever comes our way, starting Monday at 4:30, we'll have a good plan and be ready for it.
Javon, you were the 5A Player of the Year at Pittsburgh High School here in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Decided to go the Division I route your first year, your freshman year. Then you made the decision to come back, transfer back to junior college. Just take us through that decision and what your experience has been like here at Butler your sophomore year.
My experience at Butler has been great because when I came back to Kansas, I didn't think it was going to be as great because I was in Texas. So, but it's been great. Like I met new guys from all around the country, and it's just everybody. Like for this team, everybody just been focused on that one goal ever since I've been here. Like so, it's been cool. I like Butler.
And there's a huge basketball tradition here at Butler. For any of you guys, what's it mean to kind of put your stamp on the legacy to help a team get back to Hutch or back to the national tournament?
I mean, it's a big step. I mean, it's a big responsibility if you think about it, really, for the guys like Zay, who have been here for 3 years, to have that responsibility to be held accountable every day during practice, the same way he holds all of us accountable during practice. So it's a big responsibility to even get to that point where we can compete at such a high level together. And keeping each other accountable throughout that process is very tough, as Coach tries to do for us, and Coach Towns, Coach Usher. So it's like a very tough thing, but I think we can do it, and I think we have the guys, the pieces to do it. So it's just all about us, like Jose has been saying, sticking together and just continuing that process that we've been doing since the beginning of the year.
Javon, you talked about one goal at the beginning of the season was making it to nationals, and you guys came in and worked every day for it. You talked about in the presser on Saturday night about we worked hard from day one. Trey mentioned it. You could see that with the flood of emotions came out of everyone on the team when the final buzzer went and we won. What was that feeling like? Everything paid off for you over the season, or what was that feeling?
I think the first thing I said to Zay is, y'all remember them track workouts at 5:30 in the morning? I feel like those really what got us through it, cause those 5:30 a.m. track workouts where your teammate gotta come wake you up to run none of us wanted to be there, so we just fought through it together. So I feel like through the whole year that just got us through a whole lot, stuff like that, just being everybody together.
I'm not mistaken, after you guys won, and there was a tremendous scene, you guys dogpiled in the center of the court. If I'm not mistaken, there were a few of you guys out there were crying. Talk about the emotions of that.
I was just crying because I'm a big family-oriented guy, so I'm a very big, I love everybody on my team. And like Javon said, waking up at 5:30 in the morning, some of you guys know I was not the way that I am right now, so it was pretty tough for me to run and do all this kind of thing. So it was just a really big moment, just being able to say that we did it despite all the struggles that we've experienced and all the hard work and all those 6s and 10s and all that kind of stuff. So my emotions came out from that mostly, and also just doing this for my family who's back home. So got a chance to talk to my dad. He was very happy. So just the emotions of just all your hard work paying off. I think that's what it was, and it was just a really good feeling. And just couldn't stop crying for like 20 minutes. But.
Isaac, what was it like? I saw you on the bench talking on the phone to some family members back home, playing. You know, you're in a different country. I know you've been over here a little while, but what's that like, you know, your family being away and playing here, and you mentioned you're playing for them?
It's easier now, but it's kind of hard because you come to the games knowing that nobody's watching, and they can't watch really because they don't really know how to really get access to it, no matter what you really try to show them how to do it. But my teammates have really helped me. My coaches have really helped me to kind of make me feel more secure in those kind of aspects, and just having my back, making sure that I'm okay, hugging me after the games, or giving me good compliments like that they know that I don't really get from other people that I would like to get it from. But it's been a pretty rocky process. I've been here for 6 years, been playing basketball for 6 years, so I don't know. It's just a day by day type of thing. So.
You mentioned it briefly, but you transformed your body from last year to this year. We could see it on the sideline. We could see it definitely on the court, and how you were able to play and move and just do things you didn't do last year. Where did the motivation come from to do that? Because that was a big change.
The motivation came from the coaches, just telling me like what they expected from me as a player, and as another aspect, as another key of the team to come back and be able to play at such a level. So I just wanted to be the best version of myself. I wanted to give my best to the team and to the program. So I just dedicated myself to making sure that to do that, my body had to look the right way. So I just dedicated myself to get my body the right way to the point where I can perform at such a high level.
Coach, along those lines, I have worked with you for 4 years. I don't see you as a really overly emotional guy, not in a negative way, but when that game ended, I noticed immediately you and your 2 assistant coaches did just a bear hug, all three of you at once. Yeah. And talk about the influence that they've had on the program, talking about Davon Usher and Marcus Townsend.
Yeah. Well, first of all, yeah, it's an emotional moment, especially you think about 2020 being on the dark side of March, where we were 1 second, 3 seconds away from getting the auto bid in the championship game. So we've experienced both sides of it, and and then last year feeling like we were maybe one of the top 2 or 3 teams that were out of the at-large scenario after dropping our last regular season game and losing in the semis. Third best team in Kansas didn't get in that year. And so we've been close, and to get over the hump, yeah, it's emotional. And you recruit guys like Javon and bring in Isaac, knowing that you've been close. You say, hey, we got to get over the hump, guys. Like this is why we need you to help us get over the hump, because we're right there. And then to put in all the work like these guys have said all year and get over that hump and get in is very rewarding. None of that happens without Coach Townsend and Coach Usher. Those guys, the most valuable thing they bring to our program, Coach Townsend, a great recruiter, a great coach. Coach Usher, same. But those guys have our players' backs all day, every day. And that's invaluable to us. The relationships that they have, the trust and faith that these guys have in those coaches, that I have in those coaches, they absolutely make us better. I can think of several of those ups and downs that we've talked about, where those guys came to the rescue, where it may not be a schematic thing that we need. Maybe it's they need to talk to our leaders and say, hey, this is unacceptable. You guys need to change it. And they respect them enough to go make a change. So those guys are a huge reason on why we're still playing.
Just a quick follow-up to that. You mentioned recruiting Javon, and I know there was quite a battle for that. I'd like to give a shout-out to one of your former players who, my understanding is he helped get Javon here.
Yeah, maybe he knows more about it than that. I think we really had a good thing going. We had a good core coming back, but we definitely had a missing piece. we didn't have a point guard, obviously we've had some good players come through here, and when you have players that have good experiences, and we tell them the truth, and it plays out in their favor, that obviously helps you in recruiting. Javon, I think, made his own decision, regardless of what Marquis English had told him. And we're really lucky to have him. So I don't know if you want to comment on Marquis or anything.
I mean, he didn't really enforce me. He just told me about Butler, and I just came for myself to see. Because I don't really go off what somebody else says, so I came to see for myself, and it went good.
Why'd you go JUCO? I mean, Javon, you probably had other offers to other four-year schools, but why did you decide to take the risk and come to JUCO?
Well, I mean, I had bad grades, so I just can't.
I mean, he was at a point in his career where he needed a fresh start, and this is a great place to do it, both academically and from a basketball standpoint. I mean, he went from scoring 30 points a game in high school to being a freshman at a Division I, which no matter how good you are, that's a huge adjustment. And so then this is an opportunity for him to get back on the floor and play a lot, take care of business both on and off the floor, and get back to where he belongs.
Isaac, in the game against Dodge City, you had the play where you dove into the stands and almost took out a couple people. Is that just the way you play? And do you feel like you need to make those plays in March?
Yeah, I think you need to make those plays every game if you want to win. So like Javon was talking about his defense, if you really want to win, you're going to buy into the defense that you want. And I feel like doing those kind of things helps you win games, trying to get the ball, trying to get the 50-50 balls, which is what we've emphasized. But we've been getting it off the rebounds. So I was just trying to get a second chance point for us to try to get the ball and maybe a point or a foul. So just trying to make the right plays.
Coach, it has to feel good to have players that will make plays like that. They'll sell out. You don't always get that in JUCO. It's
unbelievable. We've always had it here, I think, for the most part. But that goes back again to that commitment. And, I think the experience of playing in this league, if you don't make those plays, you don't win. And we had to learn that the hard way sometimes this year. And when you're all in and you put in the work and you sacrifice and you commit, like these guys have talked about, you're willing to lay it all out there every possession.
Guys, for the three of you, obviously sophomores, Isaiah, 3 years here, what's going to be one memory outside basketball that you'll cherish from your time here at Butler?
It's a lot of memories. It's so many memories. My favorite memory would probably be us at the football games, working it and us bonding together. That's how we bond a lot. That's how we started off bonded. So that'd probably be my favorite part, get to know my teammates more and bonding with them like that.
Isaac, 2 years for you?
Outside of basketball, just going to the CAF. Last year as a freshman, I used to step the dorms, and going to the CAF with my teammates all the time, to go in there eating and laughing and all that kind of stuff was a really good experience for me. And this year was just getting to meet the new guys, getting to meet new personalities and new characters and all that kind of stuff. So it was just a very fun experience both years. So I've had a good time all the time.
Do you guys think that these are friendships that you'll maintain through your lives? The players on this team, most of you?
I believe so, especially after the things that we've been through together. So I believe that I think like hard moments, when you experience hard moments with specific people, you build a relationship with them. And I've been able to build a relationship with all of these guys based off those hard moments. When things are good, it's easy to make friends and be close to people. When things are bad, to still be able to stick together like we did, that means a lot, and that can take you a long way beyond basketball and all that kind of stuff. So I think so. I think we, depending on who it is, but I believe that yes, our friendships will stay together for a very long time, a good amount of time.
You think so, Isaiah?
Yes, I think so. Everybody done seen each other at their worst. We all done picked each other up, and that's how I feel like that go a long way. That can go a long way.
Well, what's the week look like for you leading up to Monday at 4:30 p.m. in Hutch?
Back to practice today, which was nice. The dust has started to settle a little bit. Been kind of a chaotic few days, but started, back on basketball today. So we'll practice today. We'll practice tomorrow. Thursday will be more of like a skill type of day. Just stay fresh, stay sharp, and then Friday and Saturday we'll practice, and it'll be all about Rowan State. Sunday we start traveling. We'll head over to Hutch and have a practice time out there at Hutch for a short practice, eat dinner together, and then obviously Monday it's time to get after it. So.
All right, Coach. I think we're good. Well,
Good.
Guys, congratulations on the Region 6 championship. You've etched your name in Butler history, men's basketball program history. And again, the Grizzlies, the 10 seed, will take on Rowan State College out of Tennessee, 4:30 p.m. on Monday at the Sports Arena in Hutchinson. We'd love to see you there. Go Grizzlies. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.